Why We Buy, amazing book by Martin Lundström. I tried to divide this book in 9 parts and I teach you this amazing book in a way that you can remember and not forget them and use these amazing ideas in your job, in your career. Okay, the first part is a smoker's blindness. Why we are blind and we smoke and we don't care about all these horrible pictures on packages. Pepsi challenge, amazing. Mirror neurons, really interesting idea. Subliminal advertising, unconscious, rituals and superstitions, and religion and brands. Really amazing and admiring part. I really love that. And semantic markers, wow again, and sensory branding, and sex sells or not. Okay, be with me and let's learn this amazing book together. Smoker blindness, what's it about? You have seen after they banned all advertising about cigarettes, the consumers didn't pay attention. The smokers smoke more. But why? You can see all these packages. There are horrifying pictures of lines and all these. I'm pretty sure you have seen them. But why? Why they don't work? What is the reason? As you know, the number of people who died because of smoking in UK is 12 times more than the whole people died in Second World War. And it's a big number. But there is a lot of horrible pictures on these packages. But why? Why they don't work? The reason is so interesting, one of the main points of this book. Okay, to find out why, in 2004, the author started an experiment. So they invited 200 researchers, 10 doctors and professors, and it continued for 3 years. And it cost $7 million that some companies supported that. Okay, in this experiment, they used fMRI and SST. What is the difference between fMRI and SST is that in fMRI, the results, you can see the activities in the mind, you can see with a little bit in a few seconds delay, but SST, it helps us to measure the activities immediately, instantaneously. Okay, so they tried to understand what's going in our mind when we see these packages, when we see these horrible pictures. Are they effective or not? After they started this experiment, they asked the participants, please don't smoke 2 hours before the experiment. But when they start to see the images of all these horrible pictures, one part of their mind showed more activity. It lit up. Where nucleus accumbens. But what is nucleus accumbens? Nucleus accumbens is a part of your brain that it is, we call it craving spot. It's where that when somebody desires something, whether it is gambling, is drug, is sex. So when we want these things, that part of our mind, nucleus accumbens, lit up. What does that mean? That means these pictures intrigue us to smoke more. So it works for the companies, not for the people. And these horrible pictures intrigue us to smoke. So that was the first result from this experiment. In later on, the book continued with an amazing story. Pepsi, those people that they are familiar with marketing, they have heard that. In the 1975, Pepsi company claimed that we have a better taste than cola. So they ran the campaign, but they failed. At that time, they had experiment and they give consumers a glass of Pepsi, a glass of cola, but they didn't know which one is Pepsi, which one is cola. So it was not clear. So they drank and they felt, okay, Pepsi is better. It has a better taste. They like it more. Okay? But at that time, it didn't work. Later on, 2003, with fMRI, they tried to find out what's going on in our mind. Why? When we don't know that which is which, we prefer Pepsi, but when we know, they prefer the other one. We prefer cola. So what is the story? So in 2003, people drink cola and Pepsi, and they didn't know which one is which. So about 67% prefer Pepsi. What later on, when they found that, okay, this is Pepsi, this is cola, which one do you like? They said, no, we like cola. This time, 73% prefer cola when they know what they drink. When they know what they drink, they prefer again cola. What's going on in their minds? Because this time they used fMRI, they could see when they know what they drink, another part of their mind lit up. Where? Higher thinking and discerning. There is an area in your brain that is related to higher thinking and discerning when you want to have a right decision, yeah? So that area activated. So this is the reason when they know, they choose differently. So it's not related to the taste, it's related to what we feel about this, the old things that they are associated with this brand, cola, because it goes back to the time that our childhood, I don't know, a lot of memories. So it helps and it affects the way that we judge about the taste. To sum up, it means these emotions affect the reality of the taste. So the taste doesn't matter. What matters is those emotions, those stories that they are in our brain. Okay, let's move on to the next amazing experiment in this book. In 1992, a group of scientists in Italy tried to find out what's going on in a part of the monkey's brain that neuroscientists call it F5 or promoter. In this part of brain, it registers all activities that a monkey does. For example, when a monkey puts something, pick up something or put something out somewhere else, okay, it registers. So one day, interesting story happened. One of these students that worked with Dr. Rizzolatti, if I pronounce it correctly, came to the lab and he was licking an ice cream. At the same time, there was a monkey that he was connected to these machines to analyze all activities in that area, in promoter area or F5, that registers all activities when a monkey does something, okay? As the monkey is staring at the student licking the ice cream, that area showed some activities. It lit up. What does it mean? That means when the monkey looked at the student, in his mind, in the mind of monkeys, the same thing is happening. It means seeing and doing are one and the same. Are one and the same. Because of this, when you see someone is having pain, your face is like this, or when you see someone is happy, you smile. Another important experiment, maybe it helps you better understand this. Another scientist, Tanya Singer, asked some people to watch a movie, in this film, they see that a group of people are playing a game, okay? But some play fairly, some cheat. And so there is a group of cheaters and a group of non-cheaters, okay? So all these people that they are watching this game, and these cheaters and non-cheaters are connected to this to fMRI to see what's going on in their minds, okay? So at the end of this game, they see that these people got a light but painful shock, electric shock, okay? So as non-cheaters got the shock, pain-related regions in the minds of the audience lit up. What does it mean? It means when they see that someone who is innocent is having pain, they have the same experiment in their mind. It seems that they are having the shock. They got the shock, okay? So, but both women and men, they have the same lit up in their mind, in the part that is related to pain-related regions. So both men and women experience pain when they see that someone who is innocent got shock, okay? So, but interesting story, when they see that the cheaters got this shock, they were okay. Nothing in that area, pain-related regions, no activities, no lit up. And when they see that cheaters got this shock, among men, they didn't have any pain, they had some activities in the area related to pleasure. That means when the bad guys got the punishment, male observers experience pleasure too, or female no. No? So all these experiments showed us when, for example, you see you watch a movie and your hero is tolerating pain or having some disaster, you have the same thing in your mind, in your brain, the same activity in your brain because of the mirror neurons. This phenomena happened. Okay, so everything we observe or even read another experiment is not just what we see. Actually, when you read a book, when you read something, the same things happen. That means when you read a novel and whatever happens to the hero, you have the same experiment in your brain. Amazing, yeah? So we can say, we conclude, everything we observe, read, someone else doing, we do the same thing. So watching equals doing. This is the main idea of mirror neurons. Okay, let's go to the next part. Now we get to one of the amazing part of the book, subliminal advertising. What's subliminal advertising? It started from 1957. A marketer, James Vickery, tried to place a mechanical slide in the screening room. As people were watching, unconsciously, they could read two messages: drink cola, eat popcorn. But it happened in thousands of a second that consciously was not visible. Okay? So people, after watching this, the amount of drinking cola 18% increased, and the amount of popcorn was consumed increased by 57%. Later on, because of the controversy and a lot of discussions, objections, this guy denied that. No, I didn't do that. And so occasionally it led to many discussions among government people, and till 1999, Harvard University tried to find out the story behind subliminal advertising. So they invited 47 men and women, all the ages around 66 to 85 years old, and they said some irrelevant reasons. Okay, the participants didn't know what's the actual reason. So they were playing a game, and during playing this game, unconsciously, they could see two kinds of messages: positive, negative. In positive, so they flashed some words like wise, astute, accomplished. In negative, they could see senile, dependent, diseased. So negative words, positive words, but unconsciously, they couldn't understand it consciously. It's not visible in thousands of a second, okay? They flash that it was so fast, the speed is so fast that it's not visible consciously. So before the experiment, they measure the swing time. Swing time means the time that is spent that someone take off his foot off the ground. Swing time. Yeah? So before and after they measured that. In these two groups, those people that they watched positive words, their swing time got better around 10%. So 10% better. Those people that they unconsciously watched these words, saw these words. Amazing, yeah? So later on, Martin Lindstrom, the author, did amazing experiment, as I said at the beginning of the video. So this time they tried to show the participants two kinds of advertisement about cigarettes. Remember that right now, yeah, is forbidden in many countries. They cannot publicly advertise and encourage people to smoke more. But in this experiment, they divided and they showed two kinds of pictures to people that they were connected to fMRI machines. So with the help of fMRI, they could see what's going on in their minds and brains. Okay, so there were two kinds of pictures, as I said. One of them is the logo, obviously, huh? Like, and explicitly they could see the Marlboro man, I don't know, the camel man on his motorcycle. So it was so obvious. This is Marlboro, this is camel, okay? In other pictures, they show those pictures that they are associated with these brands. For example, the red, these Ferraris that you see in Formula One, these picture of them, everyone can say that this is related to Marlboro, okay? So this time, so in these images, for example, a red desert, iconic cowboy, these are not explicitly say, but these pictures are associated to these brands, okay? So they showed these pictures and they could see what's going on in our brains. Both of these light up nucleus accumbens, craving area, yeah? Both of them. This one. But the second part, the subliminal images that they are not obviously say, prompted more activity in visual cortex. Visual cortex is responsible for more complicated pictures. So it needs more activity to understand. That means logo-free images, those things that they are not directly say, are stronger. They are stronger. It brings more motivation to smoke. And why is it so strong? Because in this part, subliminal images, we are not aware that we are watching an ad. It's like a boxer. When a boxer drops his guard, he or she can get more hits. It's the same when we don't know that it's an advertising, uh, we are more vulnerable to that advertising. Okay? So interesting idea behind that. So it's a really killing instrument for marketers. Okay, let's go to the next part. Now we get to rituals and superstitions. In 2007, the advertising giant BBDO did an amazing experiment in 26 countries. They did this experiment to find out what we do from the morning till the night and try to categorize all these things that we do repeatedly, like a ritual. The first part is preparing for a battle, like brushing your teeth, take a shower, whatever we do to start our day. The next part is feasting, uh, eating your meals, your breakfast, lunch, whatever. Okay, that is a kind of reunite, that you try to reunite with your tribe, actually, with your family, your people. Yeah. So, and sexing up means try to prepare the best version of ourselves to be more attractive, more confident. The next part is protecting yourself from the future. What does it mean? Whatever you do at night before you go to bed, like setting the alarm, checking the doors, checking everything is okay, no fire, nothing. So this way we try to find out, to figure out that everything is in our control. Then we feel safe, then we have less stress. Dr. Bruce Hood, the experimental psychologist from Bristol University, said that human beings and animals become stressed when they don't have this feeling that everything is in our control. We have to have this imagination or the reality that everything is in our control. It's not possible, but we feel like that. We need to feel like that to be able to go on. So, some products are useful because they are related to our rituals, everyday rituals, which give us safety, which give us a kind of feeling of that everything is secure. So some of the products are connected to this idea that giving us the feeling like wrinkle creams. We know that it doesn't work, but it's related to this feeling of safety, everything is in control. And yeah, that's it. Let's go to the next point. Martin Lindstrom proved that there are similarities between strong brands and religions. They activate the same part in your brain. But before we go to that experiment, amazing experiment, let's have a look at the similarities between religions and strong brands. Okay, Martin, the author, tried to talk to many religious leaders to find out the similarities among all these religions. At the end, he found out 10 pillars that they are common in these religions. And he tried to give some examples about these common things or characteristics in the world of brands too. So I just check out these 10 pillars, and sometimes when it's a little bit difficult, I explain and tell you an example that you can understand it better. Okay, so these 10 pillars, the first one is a sense of belonging. It's so simple. The next one is clear vision. In all these religions, the followers, the believers, they want to get at a level of peace of mind, spiritual goals. Yeah. So there is a clarity where they want to go, what they want to get. The next point is power over enemies. In all religions, there is an identifiable enemy that these followers that say this is the enemy, like devil, huh? And in all strong brands, all the time there is a competition or there is a controversy between us versus them. Cola, Pepsi, Apple, Samsung nowadays, huh? Or maybe later on another brand, a strong brand, comes to play and change the game. Okay, so the next one is storytelling. About a story, I think everyone who's familiar with a little bit, is familiar a little bit with religions know that there are so many stories. It doesn't matter Islam or other religions or Christianity. Okay, the next one is grandeur. For grandeur or the sense of awe, he mentioned that if you go to Rome, there is no building higher than St. Peter's Cathedral. No building. It gives a sense of awe, huh? Okay, or even in Dubai, Burj Al Arab, tallest, as a comedian said, the roundest owl. In Dubai, everything is EST, tallest, biggest, or sometimes roundest, if it's possible. Okay, the next one is evangelism. Evangelism is if the followers feel a sense of honored to be a part of this society or this brand or this religion. For example, Gmail, at first, you could join just by invitation, no other way. But after they got 10 million people, they say, okay, you can join too, without invitation. A sense of, yeah, I would be honored to join. So the next one is symbols. So easy, Apple and all symbols in different religions. All religions have symbols. Mystery. About mystery, there's one interesting example in this book. This is that even I noticed a lot that they wrote, especially on shampoos and this stuff. Okay, a scientific word that no one knows what does it mean, and it gives a kind of mystery. Well, what's that? It's a special thing. It can heal us and help us to grow, having a better quality in our hair. So the next one is rituals. Rituals, I explained that before, that every day we have a kind of rituals from the morning till the night. So it's another one. And last but not least, sensory appeal. Sensory appeal, if you want to understand that, just imagine yourself in a mosque or in a church. How do you feel? How does it smell? How does it look like? How would be the feeling? All is related to sensory appeal. And Harley Davidson, this motorcycle company, a few years ago, they claimed against other companies that they wanted to copy the sound of this kind of motorcycle, because it has a special sound, and they say it belongs to Harley Davidson. It's not something that you can copy and use it in your motorcycle. Okay, now you know these 10 pillars, common things between strong brands and religions. Now he tries to show how this happens in our mind. Let's go further. Okay, now we can find out what happens and what fMRI machine shows us about this experiment. So during a few days, they invited these people, participants, and as they hooked up to these machines, they showed them some images like cola bottle, Red Bull, and iPad, and the picture of Mother Teresa, the Pope, and a boy who is praying, and famous people from sports like boxing, basketball, different sports and fields. Then they find out amazing information. The first one is a strong brand brings activity in many areas involved in memory, emotions, and decision-making area. So that was the first. Strong brands create activity in many areas involved in memory, emotions, and decision-making areas. More interesting, but images associated with strong brands has exact same pattern as religious images. Religious images and strong brands activate the same parts of our mind, the same pattern. But when they, for example, saw the picture of a famous one, it doesn't do like this. But strong brands, yeah. Weak brands, no. Just strong brands work like religious images, the same pattern. Amazing, yeah? I love this too. Okay, now we can go forward to another amazing idea from this wonderful book. Remember the last time that you went to supermarket to buy something? How did you do that? How did you decide which brand to buy? For example, you want to buy butter or something like that. In less than a few seconds you decide. But how it happened? Important thing here is that we do this decision making in less than 2 or 3 seconds, not rationally, emotionally. You have heard that, so common, but what's the story behind? In our lifetime, we had a lot of memories and experiences that we are not aware of them. Some of them are positive, some of them are negative. And all these memories and stuff is in our mind. So when we decide, our decision is related to the associations of this brand with those memories. So when they have these associations, that some of them are negative or positive, we prefer this brand to other brand. Like the story of Pepsi and Cola. When people know what they drink, they prefer cola. Why? Because of all these associations in their minds. Okay, and another statistics that I liked in this book too was Gruppe Nymphenburg is a German company that they researched and they found out 50% of all decisions that we do to buy something, they happen spontaneously in less than 2 seconds. How it happened? With all these associations that we have in our mind, memories, experiences. In our mind, there are these, as I said, these associations or shortcuts. For example, when you open the door, all the time you don't think about this door is different from the other door, you know, because you have all this knowledge in your mind, but it's unconscious. And we can open a door and go through because it doesn't matter. This door is different from the other one, yeah? Because all these shortcuts and association that they help us to make a decision. Without them, it's not possible to make a decision. Life gonna be so difficult for us. So marketers and companies can do that. Then can they affect the way that we decide? How? A nice example is Blendtec. Blendtec is a small company at that time that they were producing blenders. But when in a video on YouTube, they made a video, and in this video, they showed people how this blender can make an iPhone to small pieces, or smashed, I can say, yeah. And so all these memories that we have about these different things that they put inside this blender and blend it so fast and strongly, this association helps Blendtec to change from a small company to a big company so fast and so great in a way. So, and the last point that I want to say, past experiences. These past experiences that we have in our minds, they have three basic concepts: reward, punishment, and fear. But fear is the strongest. and they use it in advertising a lot. If you don't buy this, this happens to you. So this fear, if you don't buy it, it happens to you, that it seems the life would be out of our control. It's a strong marketing instrument for these companies. Okay, let's go to the next part. The last part of the book, Martin Lindstrom proved that our senses, the other senses like smelling and hearing, are as much as effective as seeing. So what does it mean? If you close your eyes, just close your eyes, what you hear. As I tear it up, I'm pretty sure that you could imagine this thing, this action. Yeah? So it happens all the time. So sensory branding means if you can associate, combine your brand with another sense, sound or smell, it would be more powerful. It would be more powerful and activates other areas in the mind of the customers. Okay, the next part is, as I said, activate other activities, site of produce, as I said. The next part is sex, actually the last point in this book. Sex, using sex or sex sells, is a controversial issue. I'm pretty sure everyone who is in this market, they know all these discussions. It's good, it's bad, it works, it doesn't work. But Martin Lindstrom concluded in two ways. First is that according to an experiment in Florida University, they found out, for example, women, when they find out that this model is more attractive or super attractive or super beautiful, they turn off. They wouldn't like it. It's not appealing to them. But on the other hand, there is a solution for this problem. Because of this, you may notice that nowadays there are many advertisements that the actors or the models in these videos or images are ordinary people. People can feel or have more sympathy when they feel, oh, okay, he or she is like me. She's or he is not a supermodel, super beautiful. No, he or she is like me. So then I like it. So it's more attractive to them and it works better. But what is happening when we say in some products, according to the target customer, sales is more appealing? That happens when we should consider again mirror neurons. When I see an attractive man in a nice suit, and I feel, oh, if I buy this suit, people like me too. I would be attractive like him. I would be confident like him. People like me too. So this mirror neurons, this activity happens in my mind. So I try to buy that because I want to be instead of that model, that person, that attractive, that person that people liked him. So that is the reason of mirror neurons. I tried my best. I hope you enjoy it. It was really fascinating book, a lot of experiments, and don't forget that it's not a summary. I tried to teach that, and I hope it would be a nice resource for you to find out better solutions in your job. Take care and have fun.